Viewers, you're watching The Explosive Exclusive with me and Navika Kumar, and all eyes right now on Deepika Padukone, on where she is, when she will be returning to Mumbai. The focus is clearly on one of the leading ladies of Bollywood, simply because she has to be present at the NCB by tomorrow. And this is because of chats in which she is communicating with an employee of a leading talent agency talking about supplying of drugs. Navika, you're the one who brought out those WhatsApps in lots of details. Those WhatsApps refer to the procurement of drugs. It's a big story. It's going to lead to a large number of questions that will be posed to Deepika.
That's right. In fact, the chat of Deepika Padukone with Karishma, who is a talent manager at Quon, has now triggered off summons to Deepika Padukone coming in from the Narcotics Control Bureau, because in this particular chat they talk about hash, not weed, and some drugs that that Deepika wants at that point. And through this, we understand the Narcotics Control Bureau wants to know who are the regular drug peddlers who provide these drugs to the Bollywood A-listers, because it is the drug network which is under the lens of the Narcotics Control Bureau. And that is the reason why Deepika Padukone has been summoned at the Narcotics Control Bureau office at Mumbai tomorrow. So this is the detailed drug chats which have started off from Riya Chakravarti through Jaya Saha of Quon and Karishma of Quon to Deepika. And this is the network, how it really gets linked to the Sushant Singh Rajput investigation.
Well, Navika, many people are saying that, look, these chats don't amount to much. They're saying that there's not even a passing reference to drug abuse. How do you look at that?
Well, it's very clear that
Mal could mean anything, some people say.
Well, mal could mean anything, is theoretically possible, but as you come down the chat, she does specify whether it's hash or weed. So she's clearly talking about something other, unless she's able to explain to them that even that mention of hash and weed is actually code for something else. It all depends on what explanation and what are the questions that the NCP is going to ask. It's true that evidence of catching of drugs, in the possession of Deepika, currently non-existent. So the Narcotics Control Bureau, if it wants to put a case, it will need much more than just these chats in terms of evidence in a court of law. But as far as I understand from the investigators, is that they're trying to get not so much into whether or not these stars carry drugs on their person, but more into who are the suppliers in the underbelly of Bollywood who actually carry this kind of drugs and supply them, because it is on them. It is on them that the charges of procurement, of distribution will come in, and also the source of supply. Which is what the Narcotics Control Bureau really needs to target, because the source of supply, whether it is in India, whether it is abroad, where does it come from, where it is smuggled from, that is the larger racket that has got uncovered as a result of the Sushant Singh Rajput investigation, and that has to be taken to its logical conclusion.
Well, we are being told that, of course, there's more news flashing on your screens. Riya in judicial custody till October 6th, but the bail hearing has been deferred to the 29th. So that's what we are being told, to the September of 29th. So that's very important, viewers. That's another parallel investigation that is going on. Navika, let's not forget that the original story really began with Riya and Sushant Singh Rajput. Now we're sort of down the drug alley for a few, for a few days.
Even Riya is in custody of Narcotics Control Bureau in the drugs, not in the investigation of the possible, suicide versus murder. That is the investigation.
Absolutely, but it's interesting how this entire case is unspooled into obviously including so many big names from Bollywood, isn't it, Navika?
That's that's right. There are names that have come up. There is Rakul Preet Singh, there is Sara Ali Khan, there is Shraddha Kapoor, there is Deepika Padukone. All of them at one level or the other have had either chats directly with Rhea Chakrabarti or have been named by Rhea Chakrabarti, or they have had chats with somebody in Kwon, because Jaya Saha is a big fish from Kwon, and she is connected on the one hand to Rhea Chakrabarti, and on the other she's also had chats with some of the other names from Bollywood that have come up, including Deepika Padukone. So that becomes the common link, and of course the Narcotics Control Bureau also looking at Kwon itself in terms of the talent management company, on why so many individuals were involved.
There is so much talk about Kwon's role. Is it an organized attempt at client servicing in a clandestine manner to provide contraband? We don't know. These are questions that will come out, of course, but big questions are being asked. Now, we just saw, and we're going to put out those visuals of Sara Ali Khan at the airport as she landed back in Mumbai just about an hour and a half ago. Those are the pictures. There she is, mobbed, of course, by the media at the airport. But, in the backdrop, and I want to open this out to our reporters also, and I want to quickly go across to our two reporters, Deepak, who's keeping, of course, a vigil at the airport there in Goa, trying to ascertain when Deepika is going to fly out. But before that, I want to bring in Tamal as well as Nikunj. Nikunj, question of jurisdiction is being raised by Team Rhea. Team Rhea says that the NCB has no jurisdiction, that this is a witch hunt. This is a cooked up case. It's meant to detract attention from the real issues facing this country. All sorts of other claims are being made.
In fact, Rhea's lawyer has just put out certain pointers of the investigation that has, or the court hearing. And he's stated in this statement, the investigations by NCB are without jurisdiction and illegal in view of the fact that case number 16/20 is in relation to the drug angle in the death of SSR. As per NCB, the SC in its order dated 19th August had directed that all such cases should be referred to the CBI. He also goes on to say this is a witch hunt. There has been nothing that has been seized from Rhea, and she's being kept in custody against what the NCB's jurisdiction is. So, Nikunj, while the representative of the NCB has sought time to file a reply, will this argument hold in this particular case of Rhea Chakrabarti's bail?
Well, Navika, these are defense's argument in a bail matter. Defense's argument, just as a prosecution's argument in a bail matter, will eventually have no bearing on the person's guilt, on whether the individual is pronounced guilty or not. That will be decided in course of a trial. These are obviously, the defense is going to rubbish everything that the prosecution has so far garnered, and the prosecution is going to claim that defense's argument actually do not hold any water. Coming back to the original proposition that Rahul was saying about the Narcotics Control Bureau's investigations and multiple allegations surrounding that investigation also, the fact, Rahul, is that while the Narcotics Control Bureau's original mandate is certainly not probing the individuals under the NDPS Act, those powers are vested in the local police. The NCB has an overarching mandate of acting as an agency which coordinates between the State Narcotics Control Bureau, develops intelligence, and tries to catch the big fish which is pushing the drug, the major drug cartels who are pushing drugs into the country. But on the other side, if you allow a certain set of individuals, be it in any grouping or form, Bollywood, tomorrow legal fraternity, some will say politicians, etc., to have the consumption of drugs, even on a very small recreational manner, many would say that marijuana and cannabis both across the world are on the verge of being legalized or have been legalized in many, many jurisdictions. And something goes drastically wrong. The Narcotics Control Bureau, as the premier agency which has the overarching mandate of curbing the drug use. Remember, the law says curb the unauthorized drug use. As long as the law stands in its present format, passed by the Parliament in 1985, subsequently last amended under the government of Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2014, the Narcotics Control Bureau will always have the mandate to curb the drug use. Now, eventually, at some some point of time, the end users who are consumers, even for the recreational purposes, will have to be called for questioning if you wish to net the big fish. So therefore, I do not think that the two can be completely delineated, completely delinked. And remember, these are just summons. Nobody has been pronounced guilty by the Narcotics Control Bureau. While many will question their jurisdiction, many neutral observers will also ask that why is it that the Narcotics Control Bureau is doing the job of the local police station. Narcotics Control Bureau also has a mandate to ensure that unchecked, unfettered, unbridled drug supply does not run in any part of this country. That's the law that gives them their powers. So somehow the two things have gotten intertwined in this case. And I would say that if the Narcotics Control Bureau, beyond these WhatsApp chats, beyond the confessional statement, beyond the arrest of few peddlers, is able to mount a significant case in which substantial amount of drug recovery or substantial amount of involvement of big peddling rackets come to the fore, then for sure they would justify their investigations.
Well, Tamal is also here with us. Tamal, massive bandobast going on there. And let's put that out. Very important. Filmmaker Kshitij is also under the lens, summoned by NCB. Peddlers drop big B-town names. That's a big revelation, Tamal, but also massive barricading going on behind you. What's all of this for? What's the occasion? What's going on?
Well, Rahul, as far as Kshitij Prasad is concerned, yes, we did break the news yesterday on India Front, and the name we knew, and we withheld the name. Now we can confirm he has been summoned. Coming back to your question, that is NCB Guest House. For tomorrow, it is nothing less than a fort. And look at the arrangement which has now been put in place by Mumbai Police. Why? Because Deepika Padukone is expected tomorrow along with Karishma Prakash and Rakul Preet. Now, these barricades have been put up on the other side of the road. Media in all likeness will have to be on the other side. The barricades have not even been put on the footpath. They have been brought ahead to this white line. Look here, this white line. So there is more space for media to do their own arrangement, put their tripods. And here, come here. So you find all these barricades been put up, and covering the entire building. You will just have one entry point, which is this, manned by Mumbai Police. This barricade would be moved, and then again there is a buffer space. That buffer space giving an extra cover to this building. This building where NCB officials, the Special Investigation Team is camping, that is the only gate that would remain accessible, and that gate would open, all the vehicles would be going inside. Now the entire building has been literally given a cordon, and the road up till here, if I can ask my camera person to show the entire road, the lane which is going by this building, that is now getting blocked. Look here. The lane is now getting blocked. There is a Mumbai Police vehicle. There are these barricades now been put up. So this road would be inaccessible tomorrow, and these barricades would be giving a complete cover. And what you're learning, this road tomorrow will also be inaccessible the time when Deepika Padukone is expected. Now, we have been told by NCB sources that she is expected at around 11:30. We know the confirmation had come to NCB. We broke it here on Times Now First in the morning that she has already communicated to Mumbai Police requesting for special bandobast, special arrangement, so the security aspect is being taken care of. We had seen sudden ugly scenes unfolding when Riya Chakraborty had appeared at the NCB office. So learning from the past, NCB2 had kind of given a suggestion to Mumbai Police so that special bandobast is done. But in the past 7 days or even 10 days, up till now, I have really not seen such kind of bandobast. Why not? Deepika Padukone is one of the top celebrities in the country. She is expected to come down
Tamal,
here.
We are being told that it's going to be flight VT GKB. It's going to land at 8:15 Old Airport in Mumbai. We can update that information, and that's what we are being told. This is very, very important. The flight to land at 8:15 Old Airport, Mumbai, that's what we are being told. It will perhaps take off that way. Therefore, at about 7:15, this has been confirmed by reporter Hina. We are going to try and connect with important news because it allows you, viewers, to get a sense really of how precipitate things really are. It's only a matter now of about 20, not even 20 hours, around 18 hours when this entire interrogation is going to begin.
That's right, and Deepak is standing by at the Goa airport. And Deepak, I want to ask you, all day yesterday and today, we understand Deepak Padukone has been closeted with her lawyers on video conferences, and her husband Ranveer Singh has also been on these video conferences, and we understand the two of them are taking the charter flight together this evening and landing in Mumbai sometime around 8:15. Can you confirm that to us?
Yes, it has just been confirmed that the flight will, take off. It's a charter flight. The last domestic flight, of course, that was due to take off from here is to Bengaluru. So they had to opt for a charter flight. Speaking to the airport officials, they said that there was the possibility that they could have taken one in the afternoon as well. It was cancelled for unknown reasons. Shabbir also here with me, who's been tracking these details. And at this point in time, Ranveer Singh as well, making his way to Goa to accompany Deepika Padukone as they go to Delhi, and they will be summoned. Shabbir, we saw a flurry of activity earlier. Now it looks like finally they're going to be arriving here in a short while.
Well, that's right. That is what we are expecting. In fact, there were 3 times that were fixed. It was earlier in the day at around 12:30. She was expected to leave, and then the timing got changed, and now we are hearing that it's at 8 o'clock. Initially, they said that she will be landing in Mumbai at around 10:30 p.m. But now it appears that it has been fast-tracked. So there are some kind of arrangements that have been made here at the airport. The managers, the airport authorities are aware that there is a VIP movement that is going to take place here in Goa airport. So clearly all arrangements have been made, because there was some information that they are leaving by road, and that was clearly a vehicle that moved out of the Taj Hotel and it went towards Mumbai. So that was the confusion, but now it's clear that we are getting information, concrete information, that they are taking a chartered flight from Goa to Mumbai.
The Goa-Mumbai flight is approximately 45 to 50 minutes long, which means Deepika should have left her hotel by now, because from Taj Aguada Holiday Village to the airport itself would be about a drive of about 45 to 50 minutes. Is that right? And then the flight would be at somewhere around 7:25.
Well, Navika, unconfirmed reports are also telling us that in those 6 might also be Karishma. That's what we're being told. It's unconfirmed.
Yes, Karishma has been with Deepika. Karishma has been in Goa with Deepika for the shoot that she
It'll be interesting because now they'll have an opportunity really to square sites and come out with a joint strategy. Remember, both of them are going to be questioned.
I'm sure they've done that before the flight today, because they were both in Goa at the same shoot.
Yes, and they've at least had the benefit of speaking to their legal counsel. So obviously that response will have been very finely and minutely tailor-made to this particular situation.
Technically, if you ask me, Deepika will only possibly be asked the question of, besides Karishma, had she ever asked for any other drugs from anybody else? And frankly, to me, that's the limited role, because Karishma is the one who offered that I have it, and Amit, somebody called Amit can get it to you, I'm somewhere else. So it will be really, the questioning will be more with Karishma than with Deepika. Deepika's one chat that has been got where she's sourcing, or asking Karishma for the drugs purportedly as revealed in those WhatsApp chats.
Anytime now, Shabbir is looking out and looking over his shoulder there. Shabbir, any moment now that car is going to be approaching, because if that flight has to land, she should be checking in any moment now. Let's have a quick look. Just talk us through the layout of the airport and which gate she might be entering in from.
Well, that's right, Rahul. We are at the Goa airport, and this is where she is expected to reach anytime now. It's still not clear which gate, but what we're getting to hear from the authorities is that they are taking a chartered flight from Goa, and they will be landing in Mumbai. There are 2 times, there have been 2 kind of information that is coming in. One, they are landing at around 10:30 p.m. and another one is that they will be landing at around 8:15. So there is still no clarity. We are just expecting them here at the airport. The authorities are here. The arrangements have been made like how it was in the morning. There was some information that they may take a chartered flight in the morning, but that did not happen. So clearly, we are waiting for the arrival of both Deepika and Ranveer, because earlier it was said that only Deepika is going to travel from Goa to Bombay, but now Ranveer Singh has also joined. So clearly, we are just waiting at the airport, Rahul.
Yes, anticipation building up. Rahul, I don't think Deepika has to stand in a queue for a chartered plane. Yeah. So I guess
Yes.
I guess the security will be there to rush her in. My own sense is that she would reach the Goa airport somewhere around 6:45 to 7, and after that, if 8:15 is the time she's expected to land in Mumbai, as per the official confirmation we have so far. But Kajal, coming back to you, Kajal, I want to go back to the issue of the bail application of Rhea Chakrabarti in the Bombay High Court. Can you take us through what was argued and what was stated by the defense lawyer, advocate Manas Shinde for the bail plea of Rhea Chakrabarti, and would it upset their calculations given the fact that 29th is the next day when this case will come up?
There are two aspects that he had actually argued. One aspect is something that he's been saying even in the Sessions Court arguments, which was that Section 27A of the NDPS Act has been wrongly, charged against his client, and that it has been a witch hunt. This is something that he has consistently said. But the new argument that he also placed was about the fact that the CBI has jurisdiction to investigate NDPS cases, and given the fact that the Supreme Court order, when Rhea had challenged the Bihar police jurisdiction, had stated that any and every case related to Sushant Singh's murder or death, whichever way this goes, will actually be taken up by the CBI itself, is something that they had actually said in that order, and that is why this case also should be taken up by the CBI. So this is a fresh argument that he has made. The judge has actually said that the embargo on the bail is because of the application of Section 37. So the judge has said that both sides need to convince him in the next hearing on the 29th as to whether or not this particular section is applicable and whether or not the charges are bailable or non-bailable. So that is the clear-cut direction from the judge, that they have to prove whether the charges are bailable or not bailable, and accordingly he will take his decision. Of course, 29th is also the day when all the other bail applications in this particular case, the 4 others, are also going to come up, namely Samuel Miranda, Dipesh Sawant and the others. So all the arguments will be heard together, because remember, right now this is at the remand stage, and which is why they are all charged under the same umbrella charges, umbrella sections, and each lawyer will try to say how his or her client is not eligible to be charged under a particular section which is there in the remand note. So that is going to be the crux of the arguments in the next hearing, and we will have to wait and watch whether on the 29th Rhea and Shouvik walk out, or if the High Court also decides, like the Sessions Court, that they need to continue to be in jail.
Well, many people, of course, are saying that bail is the norm, jail is the exception, but of course NDPS is a very stringent act. Nikunj, isn't NDPS such a stringent act, and it's very difficult, even if possession is proven beyond even 1 gram beyond acceptable or even 1 milligram beyond acceptable quantities, you're really done for, isn't it? It's a tough act.
It's a tough act. It's a stringent act. There is no doubt about the stridency of the act, Rahul. But in the past, remember, the last attempts have been only to dissolve the stridency of the law. So make it a little more liberal has been the last attempt of the parliament. And if the superior judiciary, particularly, which is in the position, the High Court and the Supreme Court, does go by that interpretation of the law of the 2014 last amendment brought to the act, then probably what you are saying as bail and not the jail is the norm.
Having said that, Nikunj, there are very strident positions in favor of stringent laws versus a more liberal, outlook on these laws, simply because in India we don't have that degree of awareness, as many people say, especially given the fact that a large population lives in rural areas, small towns. Drugs, possibly could have a worse effect in these kind of areas where the awareness levels are low?
Absolutely, and Navika, you can't forget about the Pakistan factor here. Bulk of the drug, particularly heroin that comes into the country, 90% of its supply through Afghanistan is channeled via what is called Golden Crescent, and 90% of it funnels through Pakistan. And Pakistan, eventually, large element in Pakistan benefits from the drug trade in this country. So any government, in the sane mind, would obviously not want Pakistan to benefit from any kind of illegitimate activity that it is pushing into India. So that's also a factor that from the drug trade can never be delineated.
Absolutely. The big question, of course, is who's sitting at the apex? Who's sitting at the apex, viewers? That's the big question, and we'll get answers on that when we come right back. Our reporters keeping a very close eye.
And also the other big question, is drug money financing movies in India? That will also be something that these investigations will now be looking at very closely. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with these big questions answered on the other side.
As of now, big breaking news coming in, inside details of the NCB questioning. This is the questionnaire roughly of what is going to be put, the question that will be put to Deepika has been accessed. Let's go straight across to our reporters. Obviously, the first and foremost question is, what was she really talking to Karishma about? Tamal with us. Tamal, big focus on that WhatsApp as we get pictures from the Goa airport. Tamal, yes.
Well, that's right, Rahul. One chat of Deepika Padukone along with Karishma Prakash has been at the center point of this entire controversy around Deepika Padukone. What did she actually refer to when she mentioned the word mal? Now, mal as a term is used in a certain sense and a connotation, but whether she was referring to that or that same connotation, it's something that NCB would want to understand. Having said that, Rahul, we have learned from NCB sources that they are not going by that one WhatsApp chat. They are going by their own investigation. I have also learned from NCB officials that the name of Deepika Padukone had arrived to them much before they had issued the summons. They essentially waited all this while doing their own groundwork, while having questioned or rather examined Jaya Shah for no less than 3 back-to-back days. They wanted to arrive to a point when they can actually substantiate their decision or basically make their decision sound reasonable about summoning Deepika Padukone. So now they have taken the decision to summon Deepika Padukone because not just for one WhatsApp chat, also because of the talent management company that Jaya Shah is part of and Karishma Prakash was part of back in 2017. Karishma Prakash is still with Deepika Padukone, and they are trying to understand whether this particular talent management company had gone beyond its own realms of operation, beyond its periphery where it's expected to operate within, and catered to certain needs which are not legal in India. So yes, Jaya Shah has been examined 3 back-to-back days. In fact, Jaya Shah too has given out certain leads. We are purely going by our sources within the NCB, and they are suggesting that it's just not one WhatsApp chat they would be inquiring about. There are much more things they would want to understand from Deepika Padukone, also to get a sense as whether it was a mere shenanigan or it was more meaningful a conversation.
The important point in this investigation, before we go back to Goa, Nikunj, will be the fact that these chats of Deepika Padukone which have been accessed are actually chats relating to 2017. Now, 2017 with a questioning in 2020, is that likely to be enough for the NCB to have a case? Because right now she's only been summoned under the 15/20 case that has been filed in the Sushant Singh Rajput case. Is there enough from this one chat that has come into the public domain so far for any agency to mount any case against Deepika Padukone?
But not for sure, Navika, not for sure. One particular WhatsApp chat that is also nearly 36-month old, on its own certainly cannot be the basis of mounting a case which is legally admissible against any individual, in this case Ms. Deepika Padukone. But But the important point is, as Tamal was saying, that if there are other incriminating material involved, if a particular agency that is coming into play again and again and again is somehow linked to a wider network, and the network that is on the turn of the hair, you can call it illegitimate, just at the turn of the hair, you can call it illegitimate, then the investigations themselves widen, and Ms. Padukone may have certain important testimonials or testifications to give. Remember, the summons doesn't make her an accused. She can provide certain insights on the workings of a particular professional agency or contract group, which can be useful to the investigators. And who knows that her entire questioning at this point in time, summons, is centered around only that fact, for now at least.
Well, Nikunj, stay with me. Let me go across to Siddhant Mishra, who's waiting at the Kalina airport, where Deepika Padukone is expected to land at around 8:15 p.m. this evening. Siddhant, what is likely to be Deepika's defense in the chats that have come out so far, and what she's likely to tell the NCB?
Well, that's absolutely right, Navika. Right now, I'm at gate number 8 of Mumbai Airport. Right behind me, you can see the movement have already started taking place. This is a VIP exit of Mumbai Airport. Now, the fact is, Navika, that Deepika is already accompanied by his legal team. His legal team was camping with her in Goa. This is what our sources have told us. And as far as the defense is concerned, Navika, so Ria and Shawik were arrested for the fact that they both have confessed of procuring drugs, consuming and supplying drugs. Now, as far as Deepika's that particular piece of chat is concerned, which is approximately 36 months old, a piece of chat with Narcotics Control Bureau, that is where Deepika Padukone is asking for weed hash. So Deepika, in her defense, will definitely gonna say that she used to do drugs. She was into drugs at some point in time. This was a defense given by Jaya Saha also, that lot of celebrities used to be in drugs, so to remove the depression, to get out of the depression, they do drugs. This could be her defense first before the agency. Second, she will completely deny procuring or supplying drugs. So just consuming drugs can never be a major offense. This is what we are picking from from big people in the world of law. So this could be Deepika Padukone's defense. But Navika, as she is accompanied by her legal team in Goa only, they are being briefed. Karishma, Navika did not appear before agency. Karishma had sought for an exemption, and Deepika and Karishma both will appear at the same time tomorrow. So this could be a very good move by Deepika's legal team to make Karishma sit along with Deepika before the NCB. Let not allow Karishma to go and testify before Deepika Padukone, because her chats are with Karishma. So this was a WhatsApp group, Navika, in which Jaya Saha, Karishma, Deepika Padukone all were members. So these data have been retrieved by Jaya's phone. So the Kwan company and Jaya Saha is also under the lens. So Deepika will also be questioned by Narcotics Control Bureau.
Siddhant, clearly at this point, there is anticipation of security coming up at both Mumbai Airport, where she's expected to land, along with 6 others. We understand Ranveer Singh, her husband, is also accompanying her in this chartered plane. Let's go across to Deepak, who's joining me. In fact, Shabir, who's joining me from the Goa airport. Shabir, what are you hearing from the security personnel at the Goa airport? When is Deepika expected to take her flight back to Mumbai?
Deepika, they are expected any time now. That is what we are hearing from the airport officials. The flight is yet to land and they will be here in some time. The crew members have already arrived. In fact, the people who are facilitating this travel, they are there inside the airport. And I got to see the manifest in which names of the flight manifest in which names of Deepika and Ranveer are mentioned there. So anytime now they will be here. The members of the airlines, they are also here at the airport waiting for
For the arrival of Deepika Padukone and let me get in our guest this evening, Nupur Sharma, spokesperson of the BJP, Ifra Jan, columnist, as well as Tausifur Rahman. Nupur Sharma, to you first. I want to ask you, for all those who are saying that Deepika... Okay, we have some breaking news coming in. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Babar Qadri has been attacked. He's been shot in downtown Hawal area in Srinagar. That's what we are given to understand. Babar Qadri, a lawyer and somebody who was a political analyst, has been with us on many debates here in Times Now. And this is really the point where we begin to question why he has been attacked. Trying to connect to Sohail, who's joining me live from Srinagar. Sohail, what are the details? What can you tell us about this attack on Babar Qadri?
Well, Navika, this incident has taken just 15 minutes ago when Babar Qadri has entered his house and he was attacked at his house. He has been shifted to hospital. His condition has been declared as critical by the doctors. So, as per reports, there were two militants who had entered his house, and thereby he came under attack. Now he has been shifted to hospital and his condition is critical. That are the latest reports that are coming in from the hospital. But we will have to see, because since this has happened in the densely populated Hawal area in downtown Srinagar, the area has been cordoned off by the personnel of CRPF as well as Special Operation Group of Jammu and Kashmir Police.
Any idea, Sohail, as to who these attackers were? Have the police come out and given any statement, any details of who were the people who may have attacked Babar Qadri?
See, Navika, let me tell you, Babar Qadri was someone who was already, he earlier also he has been attacked by militants. In fact, when he was once driving, so he was attacked when he was sitting in his car. So this is the second time when militants have entered his house and he has come under attack. So thereby, as per Jammu and Kashmir Police, there were already threat perceptions against him. And since this incident has taken place, for being vocal and, there were certain things on which Babar Qadri wasn't agreeing. So it seems like Jammu and Kashmir will now launch an investigation to see as exactly which outfit has, carried out this attack. And moreover, there is yet no statement, since as already mentioned, this attack has taken place just 15 minutes ago. So usually after any attack in Kashmir Valley, the outfit takes an immediate responsibility.
Well, let me get in the first reactions from Nupur Sharma and Ifra Jan. Nupur Sharma, Babar Qadri, lawyer, activist, somebody who's been on many shows with us, has been attacked, is in a critical state in Srinagar. Clearly, is there a message that is being sent with this attack on Babar Qadri?
Attack is in a critical state.
Nupur Sharma? I don't think she can hear me. Ifra Jan? All right. Deepika is leaving from Mumbai now at 8. Deepika's flight has landed in Goa. Shabir, what are the details? Has she arrived at the airport? The flight that was supposed to come in has come in. It's 6:45. We will try and get across to Shabir. Deepika's flight coming in to Goa, and now she's expected to leave Goa in the next half an hour, 40 minutes is what we are expecting. Shabir, any signs of Deepika arriving at the Goa airport? We can see some movement. Shabir, can you take us through what's happening there at Goa airport?
Well, the flight of Deepika and Ranveer has just landed at the Goa airport, the special aircraft that will be taking them to Mumbai. And in a short while from now, we can expect Deepika, Ranveer and 4 other people who are traveling in that flight to reach at the Goa airport. And what we understand from our sources is that 6 people are traveling in that flight, and they will be here anytime soon. The crew members, the flight operators have already arrived here at the airport. The airport authorities have been informed, and in some time from now, we are expecting Deepika, Ranveer and Karishma and others to reach the airport, and from here they will be flying to Mumbai to appear before the NCB officials because summons have been issued. Remember, this is just the beginning of this entire case, and that is something that one needs to understand, because it's not like they are guilty just because they have been issued summons by the NCB. It's the beginning of this entire...
We'll be on standby for Deepika to arrive at the Goa airport to take her flight back to Mumbai, and tomorrow, of course, is her appearance before the Narcotics Control Bureau, which wants to ask questions about her chats with Karishma, her talent manager from Kwon. Well, that's all we have for you on Explosive Exclusive. We'll take a short break. We'll bring you all the coverage on the other side of this very short break.